Today we are presenting to you the results of our research and analysis of hosting providers narrowed down to free hosting and domain name and WordPress. Besides features and limitations, we've signed up to every hosting, created a simple website, and measured load times, uptime, and more. So first, reviews of 6 platforms and then tests and conclusions. Timestamps included. 000 web host. As you create an account with 000 web host, you will be prompted to make your first and only website. The survey doesn't affect anything, so I skip it and go to the website control panel. It's empty for now, so click on Create New Website and name it whatever you want. You'll be redirected to the cPanel of the created website and you'll have to specify administrator credentials again. Let's see what it is in the 000 web host free plan. In Tools, you can manage your domains, connect or purchase a new one. Site file size is limited to 300 megabytes, where most parts will be occupied by the WordPress engine anyway. You can connect 2 databases. Total size is limited to 1 gigabyte and 100 tables. They are managed through the classic PHP-MyAdmin panel, but actions such as changing the access passwords or deleting the databases are more convenient to perform from the admin panel. The second menu section is website settings. Here, in general, you can manage FTP access and credentials to enter this cPanel. If you will host explicit content, then enable this flag to avoid violating the hoster's rules and blocking your account. Also be careful when fixing errors or resetting the website, since those cannot be undone in the free account. For site security, only access restrictions by IP and hotlink protection for file extensions are available. Separately, I want to note that the possibility of creating cron jobs. With their helps, you can schedule a regular execution of custom scripts, for example, comments cleaner or cache resetter. Redirects is very simple. You can create 10 redirects from a page on your site to any other page, which will return 301 or 302 error codes. Activity with basic settings is saved in the logs, but in my opinion, it needs to be more detailed. So overall pros would be customizable redirects, email forwarding, IP filtering, and cons: branding by hoster, community support only, weak logging. 2. Byet.host. Byet.host is a free hosting by iFastNet. After signing up for free hosting, you will see a long notice with rules while the credentials are being sent to your email. Sending passwords along with logins has been recognized as insecure, so it is better if Byet.host stops this practice too. With their online file manager, you can manage your site's files directly from your browser, but maximum allowed file size is only 1 gigabyte, even if the disk quota allows more. At the same time, I consistently experienced breaks when loading much smaller files. Fortunately, it supports the creation of remote connection via the FTP protocol. Credentials can be found respectively in the FTP accounts section, while a list of recommended applications is in the free FTP software. Database management here is carried out through the PHP-MyAdmin panel. Remote connections to MySQL and PostgreSQL databases are not available in the free version. In domains, the most interesting is the subdomains tab, where 23 free top-level domain names are available. In addition, this hoster allows you to create multiple subdomains within one account. Byet.host has its own version of the redirect feature, but with its help, you can only create a global redirect to the entire site and not to its individual pages. Even though the email features seem to be available, almost all of them are blocked in the free version and just waste space on the panel. But there is hourly logging for all your sites. You can download the archive for incidents for the last 7 days. There are only 2 features in the security section: IP blocker and the tool for installing your own SSL certificate. Byet.host allows creating cron jobs with intervals from 2 minutes to 24 hours. But note that in the free account, jobs that perform longer than 5 seconds will be automatically deleted. Also, you can use dozens of useful tools from the SEO tools section. To start installing WordPress, scroll down the menu and select Softaculous Apps Installer. Find WordPress in the list and click Install. You can use Quick Install or manually set installation options. The process of unpacking and installing WordPress took only a few seconds, so let's try to open the created site. And yes, it is already available online. The main advantages of Byet.host over other hosts are unlimited bandwidth and 5 GB of hard drive space. Also, according to a free account, you can create up to 400 databases and an unlimited number of subdomains. Personally, this seems like a marketing trick for me. However, I was able to register 10 subdomains in my account when I tested this. The main drawback of Byet.host for me was its online file management tool. Also, a disadvantage is the limitation of the maximum available restart time for cron jobs to only 1 day. Pros: more than 300 items in Softaculous, dozens of SEO tools, IP blocking tool. Cons: unstable online file management, send credentials in clear form, 10 MB max file size. AwardSpace. To start using AwardSpace, you need to provide your name, email, and password. After authorization, you will be redirected to the dashboard. Each feature has here its own description, fact, and in some cases, video tutorials. Here you need to select create a free subdomain and enter its name in this field. Then click here, select the subdomain you like and click create. Created domains appear in the list and as you can see already with online status. Let's check it out and open it up. Now let's return to the dashboard and go to the Zaki app installer. Only WordPress, Joomla, and Grav are available in the free account. Select and enter the title of your site and administrator credentials. By the way, it is not recommended to use the same email and password that was used to register for the hosting provider. This advice applies to all hosting providers, including paid ones. In the meantime, WordPress is already installed, so let's check the site again. Let's try to refresh the page, and here it is, the main page of WordPress. Now let's take a look at what else AwardSpace has to offer in the free plan. In the hosting settings, you can control the engine of your site by changing the versions of PHP and Perl. The file manager allows you to delete, download, and move your website files right in your browser. In addition, you can set up a direct FTP connection to it, which here is disabled by default. Management is available via PHPMyAdmin of a MySQL or Postgre database, but it can be only one for a free account. A full-featured export and import of all tables and database values is also available. Remote access to the database is permanently blocked for security reasons. The drawback of all this is that the quota for the database is only 30 MB. Access to monitoring tools and logs is not provided in the free version, while from the analytics are available only traffic statistics and quotas usage report. AwardSpace. The most inconvenient limitation in this hosting is the 30 MB limit of the size of the database, which will be exhausted pretty quickly if you have a lot of visitors. At the same time, the size of bandwidth and disk space is relatively larger compared to other hosters. A strong point is the ability to create 3 websites in one account and a full-featured import-export of database values. Pros: help materials for each feature, full access to website underhood, allow third-party SSL certificates. Cons: forbidden remote connection to DB, blocked access to logs and statistics, not marked blocked features in the menu. WordPress.com. The next hosting provider is WordPress.com. This is separate from the WordPress Foundation, an organization that manages the development of the CMS with the same name on WordPress.org. To sign up, click Get Started on the main page and fill out this form. In the second step, you will need to choose a domain name for your website. If you want to get a free one, then enter its name in this field and wait for the list of available domains. It will consist of dozens of top-level domains, but the first suggestion on this list is the WordPress.com domain, a free but not customizable domain name that you need. In the next step, it will show the pricing. Just click on Start with a free site to skip this. And finally, you will need to fill in some information about your future site: type, category, name, and tagline. In fact, your site has been created and hosted, so on this page you can start direct management using the CMS. For example, if you click here, you will start creating a new post. Now let's check out the admin panel. Basic options such as site name, language, time zone, domain, managing several plugins, although not available in the free accounts. Settings are devoted mainly to visual and small functional features. In the hosting configuration, you'll find settings for directly managing databases and files, but here these are also paid services. In the free version of hosting on WordPress.com, the main advantages of this CMS, as the flexibility of customization and functional extending, are seriously limited. A small compensation for this are a few pre-installed plugins such as WooCommerce and Jetpack, but this is clearly not enough. Also, traditional hosting settings, DB management, direct access to site files, page management, and internet accessibility are not available here. Free accounts cannot integrate advertising and payments, connect analytics, use SEO, etc. And of course, your free website will have built-in ads. On the positive side, I want to know that among all of the hosting providers reviewed, WP has the easiest sign-up. Limited functionality and stylization mean that WP would be the best solution for beginners, both in hosting and in administrating such sites. Pros: simple interface, unlimited bandwidth, best for beginners. Cons: limited functionality, no marketing and payment integration, no SEO and analytic integration. InfinityFree. After verifying your email, you will be taken to the account management window, which here is separate from hosting accounts. By the way, as you can see, it is possible to create 3 accounts here, which in fact allows you to host 3 different sites. Click Create Account to start, enter the desired site name here, and select one of the available subdomains. In the next window, you can leave everything as is or enter a custom password. The admin panel is similar to Byet.host cPanel, and as it turns out, InfinityFree is the reseller, so no wonder why. Launching the site here also consists of the same steps. Launch Softaculous, find WordPress in the list, and go to the installation menu. Here you must specify the administrator's name. The rest of the options, including passwords and the theme, can be left as is or customized. Then click Install and wait for the end of copying materials. The most noticeable difference is that InfinityFree offers 29 subdomains, which is more than other hosts do. On the other hand, there's no site metrics, and servers here have the same file upload bugs that I've experienced on Byet.host. You can use FTP clients with a file resume function, such as FileZilla, as an alternative. Pros: more than 300 items in Softaculous, dozens of SEO instruments, IP blocking tool. The cons: unstable online file manager, sends credentials in clear form, 10 megabytes of max size. Biz.nf. The next provider I can also recommend for hosting WordPress sites is Biz.nf. They have such a not very colorful site, judging by which free hosting is their only line of business. This host also offers paid hosting, which is slightly more expensive than the average prices, but declares unlimited traffic and disk space. Among all the providers, this one requires the most personal information, which personally worries me after reading their privacy policy. However, to use this service, you need to only validate your email. After that, all that remains is to log into your account to open their cPanel. Most likely you, like me, also got the "I've seen this before" impression, but I couldn't find any direct connection to Biz.nf and the company that runs AwardSpace hosting. In any case, I should note that the functionality of this admin panel is almost identical to AwardSpace's cPanel with only minor differences. For example, the domain manager has been extended with additional functionality that allows you to create subdomains for your own domain and other cosmetic improvements. There is only one free domain, c1.biz. At the same time, it is worth noting that the limitations of a free account for Biz.nf and AwardSpace are the same, as well as the process of creating a WordPress site. Here you need to run Zapier installer, register a free domain if you haven't already, and enter credentials for the site administrator. Next, Zapier installer will copy the necessary files and connect the database to the site. Taking into account the complete similarity of the admin panel and account restrictions, it would be unfair to list pros and cons as different from those awarded by AwardSpace. And yes, there is one critical difference between these two. AwardSpace offers 10 possible domains, while Biz.nf only has one. However, it met the selection criteria for hosts in this review, as it allows you to create a site for free on a free domain. Pros: help materials for each feature, full access to website contents, allows third-party SSL certificates. Cons: no remote connection to DB, blocked access to logs and statistics, blocked features not marked. Other hosting companies. I should state why I haven't included two more noteworthy free hosting companies for WordPress. The first is WP Node, which is a complete copy of WordPress.com. While Biz.nf and InfinityFree at least had their own domains, with WP Node you end up on WordPress.com. I don't know why. The second one is free hosting no ads. The only difference from AwardSpace is a different domain name for their services and cPanel. Everything else, including the list of available subdomains, is the same. I'm not saying these two hosts are bad. They officially provide their services most likely under the same reseller program as Infinity. But since their menus are identical to the already analyzed hosts, I see no sense in repeating the same. Okay, time to compare all the characteristics and wrap up. I've summarized the most crucial parameters and limitations in this table, and here's what I can add. Byte.host and InfinityFree have the most loyal quotas, unlimited bandwidth, and 5 GB of disk space. WordPress.com is fine, but its weakest point is direct access to the root folder and the database. By the way, I forgot to tell you how I measure uptime and load time. I used a third-party service called StatusCake. It checked the availability of sites with default WordPress content on these hostings every 5 minutes during this week. Issues with uptime were recorded for 000 webhost and InfinityFree sites, randomly went offline for different periods of time. At the same time, Byte.host and WordPress showed the best load time speed, while Biz.nf showed the worst. Also, using StatusCake, I was able to measure the load time of my WordPress sites from Europe, USA, Asia, and other locations. The table highlights the providers that showed the best results. Despite problems with uptime, InfinityFree has the fastest servers in Europe, while WordPress.com is good in the USA and Australia. Byte.host servers were the leaders only in the Canada and USA, Texas locations. As you can see, there are no ideal hosting providers for free. Some are better in some particular areas, some are worse, and vice versa. Also, keep in mind that free hosting is mostly a tool for promoting paid services, so they are best only for small blogs and testing commercial sites. With a large amount of used traffic, your site may be paused until the quota is renewed or you purchase a paid subscription. I hope with our brief research and a comparison table, you may have a clear picture of your needs to select the host wisely. If you have any suggestions or thoughts on this topic, let us know in the comments. And don't forget about giving us a like and subscribe so that more people can see this review. Bye.